Running on fumes. The national average for the price of gas is just under $3.30 a gallon. In the meantime, the latest polling shows that Biden's approval numbers have catered to 37%, according to Quinnipiac. For the latest on all of this, we're joined by Kim Klacik, the president of the Red Renaissance PAC and a former congressional candidate in Maryland. And we're also joined by John Fund, a Newsmax contributor and national affairs reporter at the National Review. So, Kim, I want to start with you. Many Republicans say that this is just the latest example of how President Biden doesn't truly understand the concerns of the American people when it comes to things such as gas prices, inflation. Do you think that's true? And if so, how will that impact future elections?
No, it's absolutely true. Thank you so much for having me, Alex. I think, honestly, we're seeing a lot of Biden's remorse as you showed that approval rating at 37%. I think there are a lot of moderate Democrats and a lot of independents that voted for Joe Biden thinking that he was going to be more like Senator Joe Biden or more like Vice President Joe Biden, right? Senator Joe Biden was tough on crime. He shined the 1994 crime bill. We saw that with the way that he treated segregation. And then you saw VP Biden, who was actually about securing the border. So now you have President Biden, who is all about basically allowing the progressive left to run wild. And what we have is results of more social justice that leads to street justice, as we see in Baltimore City, as crime rises across the country and inner cities. But you're right, gas prices are going up. We saw what happened with the Afghanistan withdrawal. And now today, we see what's going on at the southern border. So I think we're going to see this continue.
And John, Kim brings up an important point. It's that the Biden administration, whenever there's an issue, is putting the blame on someone else. If it's vaccine distribution, it's on the unvaccinated. If it's the southern border, it's on the prior administration. So what do you make of the assertion that he can't do anything about rising gas prices?
Well, clearly what's happening with Joe Biden is that he's lost the plot. The plot is that gas prices were down under President Trump. We had energy independence. And now, of course, because Biden's foreign policy has become such a disaster and is so discredited, what are we seeing? We're seeing energy shut down. The Keystone Pipeline was the first thing Biden did when he became president. And you have a looming energy disaster. I have to tell you, I'm astonished. Jimmy Carter took 3 years to become Jimmy Carter. Joe Biden has taken only 9 months to become Jimmy Carter.
And Kim, earlier this month, President Biden's chief of staff called inflation a high-class problem. So those people at home, for example, who are seeing their hot dog prices, something that they mock, the treadmills, those concerns aren't an issue to them. In fact, here's how White House Press Secretary Jen Psaki defended that comment.
What the point is here is that we are at this point because we've made progress in the economy. And what would be worse, in our view, is if the unemployment rate was at 10%, people were out of work, hundreds of thousands of people were still dying of COVID, and people weren't able to lose their homes. So that's the full context.
Now, Chris Wallace on Fox News just referred to Jen Psaki as one of the best press secretaries of all time. So, Kim, how does that message that she just delivered play out with voters?
Yeah, I can only imagine that Chris Wallace said that because she's so good at spinning what's going on with this administration. I mean, honestly, I don't think anyone's buying it anymore, like we saw with the approval rating. But for her to say that we're not going to take any of that on our chins, we are. The consumer is going to pay for all of this. We will see it with rising taxes. Right now, they're telling us that these trillion-dollar bills aren't going to add anything to the debt. It will add to the debt. We're all going to see it. Middle class and lower class Americans are going to see it every single day. Every time we go to the grocery store, the gas pump, no matter what we do, we're going to see it.
And John, there seems to be no improvement on this front. On the shipping crisis off the West Coast, we can't get straight answers. We can't even get a solution. Meanwhile, Scott Kirby, the CEO of United Airlines, warning that airline ticket prices may soar during the holiday season due to an increase in jet fuel prices. So do you see the energy and the supply chain crises stretching into this holiday season?
Absolutely. What's going to happen is the Biden administration is not returning to the policies that made this economy work. And if you're going to pass this $3.5 trillion budget resolution bill, reconciliation bill, what's going to happen? The markets are going to be spooked. And of course, people will anticipate inflation. You know, the latest poll that came out just found that for the first time in history of modern polling, and since in the last 40 years, people are now worried about inflation more than anything else. In fact, it's tied with COVID right now, believe it or not.
Yeah, I mean, parents across the country know what's affecting their pocketbooks. It's one of the rare issues that actually affect everyday families outside of Washington. John Fund, Kim Klacik, thanks both for joining us tonight.
Thank you.
Hey, I'm Rob Finnerty. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please join the conversation in the comments below. Don't forget to subscribe, too. Hit the bell icon to be alerted to breaking news. And remember, there's a whole lot more on Newsmax TV, America's fastest growing cable news network. Newsmax TV, we're real news for real people.